Coming at you live from, we'll call it FRG HQ here in beautiful Los Angeles adjacent. Sorry, it's exciting. We're a little late, but this is the All Dodgers podcast. That is that. We're going to hit a couple of those coins. We're going to say it's over 9,000 on today's show. Don't call it a comeback. Yes, the Blue Heaven boys are all the way back together. As I'm joined by my former co-host and very dear friend, Mr. Doug McKain at DMac_LA on the social medias. If you're nasty, we'll be going to talking all about your Dodgers and the offseason we've seen so far. Plus, I want Doug's thoughts. He's already talked about them. That's what he does on the internet. He talks about the Dodgers, but I want his thoughts on Clayton Kershaw's next move. I want to know what Doug wants to see next out of this front office. And later on, we're going to have some general thoughts about all of baseball free agency, because that's what we do here. And one more fun surprise coming on a little bit later on today's edition of All Dodgers Live. First, I am Clint Pasillas. Find me at Real FRG on all the social media things, including this YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up. It really helps out the channel doing all those things. Commenting on the video really helps out as well. I try to get back to as many comments as possible along the way, but and if you aren't watching this live, I do try to get back to the comments there and drop your questions in the chat, because it is that time, guys. I need something exciting. I need
Well, what had happened was...
I guess that's all I got. Doug, what the hell, man? How are you doing, you beautiful sick bastard?
Clint Pasillas, my favorite thing to do, talk ball with you, my guy. I just want everyone to know that, yes, we haven't done a show in quite some time, but that doesn't mean we aren't still in communication, still great friends. I love what you're doing with your channel, man. I know you're killing the game, and I'm just so excited to be here. Kobe and Shaq back together again. The reunion is real. Hey, I'm sick as a dog, but, hey, I don't care if I was on my deathbed about to go to Blue Heaven, up and hang out with Lasorda and Vin Scully and the bird that Randy Johnson killed. I would definitely do a show with you no matter what, my man.
We love you, Doug. You know I love you, man. I miss doing this with you. It's been a number of months since our last show. Even the last one we did not even know or expect it to be our last one, but we're here, we're back, and we're going to talk Dodger baseball. Let's talk to some folks in the chat. I'll do what I can. You save your voice as much as you can along the way. Hey. Let's go into the chat. Hold on, wait. We got a super chat gong right away. I already saw it. Where'd you go? It hid from me. Jay499 in the super chat says, Happy New Year, Dodger family. Happy New Year, Doug. We were all drunkenly texting each other in the group thread on at like midnight on New Year's. I miss you, boys. We all... luckily still get to talk crap to each other because of the magic of the future. Mario's in the chat, says, what up? Cody Lou says, damn, what's going on, Cody? Bob Nightingale, the legend, in the stream, hanging out with us. Doug Axel says, D-Mac. We got the boys going back together. Vic Ez checking in from 707. And Diane Schroeder, you know what's going on. Diane's in the chat saying, they're trying to call this Clint Nation now. What do you think about that, Doug? What are your quick reactions?
I like it. Clint Nation, man. Hey, this is what it's all about, man. Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre getting back together, the real still FRG. I don't know what we could call it, but Clint Nation works for me, man. That's fire, man. I think that I totally dig that. I mean, look, it's funny because Clint, you and I, we were always against Dodgers reuniting with the former players, right? Getting back with your ex. Like, it's okay. No Belly, no Keegan, this and that. But this is one that I'm totally signed up for.
Yeah, this is it. I didn't know we were exes. All right, no, I'm just messing around. I'm going to throw the chat on the screen. Good looking out from producer Mrs. FRG, hanging out in the back there. Gary A says, like old times. Chris Huerta says, the boys are back. I'm scrolling on the wrong screen here. We got William Andrews. What's up? Let's go Dodgers. Bob Nightingale says, Mama Diane. Let's scroll down. Let's see. City Boy Chad says that we go together. Me and you go together like peas and carrots. Are you my Jenny? That's what I wonder. Doug, are you Jenny?
Hey, man, you're the root beer to my float, baby. The peanut butter to my jelly. The yin to my yang.
Hey, as long as it's not the yin to your wang, my guy, I'll tell you.
Okay, chill.
Oh, wow, that one. Oh, hey, listen. The boys are back. Daniel Palma's in the stream. What's going on, Daniel? Good to see your name in here.
Daniel Palma, rocking with us.
Says, I came for the reunion. Edwin Dunning says, hit the like button. That's a good point, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe while you're here. I don't need to point you guys to where Doug does his work, but go subscribe to Dodgers Nation TV. We had the fun of getting to 70K this year or last year, and whenever it was September, and you know what, you just keep thriving, you keep vibing, you keep bringing the good word of Dodger baseball to the people. That's all Doug ever wants to do with his life, is just talk Dodgers and talk sports with y'all. And you know what, one of the things I love hearing about you, or when people talk to me, they're like, hey, you know, what is Doug like in real life? Like, is he always like that? And like what you guys see on the stream, that is 1000% Doug McKain every minute of his life. He is always on fire, and that's why we love you, my guy.
Hey, man, I just love this stuff. You know how it is. And honestly, I want to tell people out there, honestly, the channel where it is now, I would be where I'm at as far as the show without you, man. I mean, you definitely the guy that got me into Dodgers Nation, that passed me through to be the post-game show host. And really, I mean, I owe you everything, really, in getting me into this baseball side. I was doing basketball and football before, and I've always loved the Dodgers since birth, essentially. But yeah, I mean, learning so much from you and just talking ball. And honestly, just to kind of respond to what you said, people always ask me about you and Clinton, this and that. And I'm always saying, look, this guy knows ball as good as anyone. And it's not just the facts, the history, it's baseball theory. And that's why it's so great to see that you got your own channel popping off and that you got your voice out there. And that's what I think this game needs. I mean, there's a lot of people that know the facts and they know the analytics and this and that, but to do it in a fun and entertaining way, but also kind of know about the history of this organization, kind of live through, now that we're spoiled brats with all the fancy Ohtani Yamamoto toys, to have someone that's actually lived through the Frank Rupp McCourt years that we were living through. I think that's important to have right now in this era of Dodgers baseball.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. As often as we do talk here and there throughout a week, you know, we lived through years of talking work, talking baseball, and now we just talk about, you know, crap and make each other laugh and all that. I saw the streams. I saw you going hard for Yamamoto, hard for Shohei. How you feeling about this team right now?
I mean, it's really just amazing when you think about just the years that led to all this. And everyone just acts like the Dodgers and Andrew Friedman just woke up one day and said, oh, we want Ohtani, want Yamamoto. But no, the reality is that this is decades in the making, right? I mean, you saw Shohei Ohtani want to go to a team that's a proven winner, a perennial World Series contender. And we know that at this point, that was a major factor. So you got to give credit to this Guggenheim ownership group, Andrew Friedman and company, going full-blown scorched earth after winning 211 games in the last 2 years with just one postseason win to show for it. And you go out there and you get the most coveted free agent of all time in Shohei Ohtani. Yeah. And then you follow that up with getting Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the best pitching free agent on the market, the unique ability to get a 25-year-old Japanese superstar ace-level pitcher. It takes my breath away. I mean, this is
literally
unprecedented times. I mean, they committed over $1 billion this offseason. And like I said, I mean, savor this. This is the platinum era of Dodger baseball. And I think the difference now is that this has been a franchise where it's been World Series or bust. Now it feels like the stakes are it's dynasty or bust, right? If you don't win multiple championships, this won't be seen as a success. But look, the reality is it feels like they're throwing out monopoly money this offseason. They passed go $1 billion times to get the $200. And look, this franchise is putting their money where their mouth is. When I had Andrew Friedman on the show, I'm telling you, man, this guy was glowing. This guy had this aura that the kids talk about these days. You could feel it from a mile away. And just the look in his eyes, the smile on his face, the things he was saying, I was like, I left that day not even having to ask if they were going to get Ohtani or Yamamoto. You could tell that this guy was going to have the offseason for the ages, and he did just that. And he's put this Dodgers team in a position where they're being discussed beyond just your everyday baseball fan, right? This is a team that's really transcended just a baseball fan. Everyone's talking about the Dodgers right now. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, all of us here in this YouTube space are seeing we're living the value or whatever. We're living the era where everybody is now focusing on this team. Everybody is watching. I mean, I came with a channel that had nothing and was quickly able to kind of get back to seeing all the old familiar faces and names and friends because I knew everybody wanted to talk about Shohei. People want to hear me talk about it. You talk about it. 5 other people talk about Shohei, and they're not just here. They're not just in the U.S. They're everywhere, and it's fun. And really one of the things I wanted to say is there's 2 things to go back and cap one thing you said, and then to cap this is it's fun. We haven't done this in a while. It's fun. I forgot how fun it is talking ball with you, doing this shit with you, man. You hype me up. You get my heart hard. I think that's a problem. But and the other thing, you mentioned about me bringing you in at DN, man. We went through a lot of people, different eras, different different groups of people here and there. You were by far the silver whatever, I don't know, you're the goblet of fire. I don't know, man. You were one of the best people that I ever got the chance to, I'll say, hire, because I had to watch you come in, struggle, do your work, and see that dog come out in this guy. And it was fun, growing together, doing all of this stuff. Got to get into some super chats because people are going off. So hit that gong, guys, for the super chat. Bob Nightingale a while ago.
Chat money.
$4.99 says Siri played "The Boys Are Back in Town." He says, "I'm not crying, you're crying." Thank you, Bob Nightingale. Let's see. It feels like old times if I'm only going to be reading super chats, which I don't want to do. Sarah Morris in the chat says, "Get well, D-Mac." What do you got? Where are you at right now? Are you still on the 10-day IL?
I'm feeling great, man. No, it's just. Yeah, just get back to your point, though. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, just learning from you and all that great stuff. And honestly, man, you're day one forever, and always support whatever you got going on. But yeah, I mean, like you said, literally everybody's talking about baseball. This is a true story. I literally was at Chipotle 2 days ago in line, and two people in front of me were talking about Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, right? And I, of course, had to button their conversation.
Yeah, that's very you.
And I get that conversation like, "Oh, what up, D-Mac? We just watched your video." And I was like, "Okay, what's up? What up? Chill. It's all good." I really wanted to talk to him. And I was talking about Kenta Maeda and the contract that he signed, and they both didn't even know who Kenta Maeda was.
Really?
Right?
Oh, wow.
And that just tells you, though, they said, we were not even really big baseball fans. We're big basketball and football fans, but because everything that's happened with the Dodgers, we're into baseball now. So it just goes to show, man, really think this is great for baseball. And like I said, the Dodgers, they got all the guacamole money at Chipotle they need this offseason, and they're spending it big. And I'm really excited, though, to talk to you about kind of the finishing touches of this offseason, what you think that they need to do. Because as great as it feels right now, if you do look up and down this roster, you can definitely find some holes and things they need to address. Or we're talking about the World Series, right? And they still have some work to do. There's
a number of little bits and pieces. I just got off an interview. I had our friend Casey Porter on my chat to talk about some of the prospects and how they fit in and where they fit in. They'll have those opportunities with some of the guys that some of the holes this roster does seemingly have right now. A few more super chats before we really we dive into it and we get into actual Dodger talk. If we wanted to just hang out and do a chat, maybe we should have just turned on the chat and really let it eat and us just answer things.
I like this one. Carlos V says, "Doug, your voice needs Tommy John surgery." We call Dr. Neil Elitrash.
Dr. Neil, where's that fool Dr. Neil at?
Diane Schroeder. His house like Kershaw apparently did for a couple days.
Diane Schroeder says, "Like and subscribe." That's an important one, guys. Hit that thumbs up while you're here. Let's see. I'm way behind, so I'm going to try to catch up. But I know there was a few super chats in here. Dre calls us the Blues Brothers. What do you think about that one, D-Mac?
I'm feeling that. I love that movie. I love that name. I love the color. So I'm all about it.
I think we need to dance and learn the song and all that. Mr. Seabad said Lasorda just called. He wants his Dodgers jacket back, D-Mac.
I love it. This is so
I was really hoping
as Fernando Mania, the Lasorda one. Yeah, hey, for sure.
I was hoping
anything's better than those current Dodger uniforms I'm kind of hating on, first of all.
Bruh. Rake and Bake said internal voice brace. That's pretty damn good. I'm gonna give that one a whiff.
Don't even laugh, guys, please.
What the hell was I gonna say? There was something I had and then I lost it. So it was a good one here. Annie Ann says, "This feels weird, but I love it." This feels right. I feel so good. I feel so wrong. I feel so right. Let's see. Couple more. I'm gonna find out. There's one. Noah Ortega, hit that gong. 199 super chat says, "Hi Clinton, D-Mac, Batman and Superman of Dodger fans." Which one do you want to be? Batman? Or you want to be Superman, Doug?
Man, I got to go with Superman for sure.
Yeah, you want the laser eyes. I get it. I understand how that is. Let's see. Ronnie says we need to host a party in the Dodger suite for a game with followers. Hey, we had that suite that one time thanks to our friends at AM 570. We had a good time. I think I don't remember. Did you either You either pissed off my old lady, or she kept talking at you, or she got high. I forgot whatever it was, but that was a good time. I'm pretty sure the Dodgers won that game. So we'll hit some games. You down to hit a game this year? I still owe you a Michelada, by the way.
You do, for that closest to the pin.
Yeah, this guy beat me in golf at Dodger Stadium a year or two ago, whatever the hell it is. I did see another one. Juice Narrows, $4.99 on the Super Chat, says, nice to see the boys back together for one night, but waiting on spring training to see all of our shiny new toys. Connor Kenway, $9.99 Super Chat. Thank you. Says, are the Dodgers going to trade any of these prospects anytime soon for more pitching? So there are some questions that I have for Doug. So you know what? Let's get into it. I'm going to put you on the hot seat, Doug. Right now, Clayton Kershaw, let's start there. Where do you feel he's leaning right now, and do you think the loud and busy offseason could actually possibly push him away from returning from the Dodgers?
I still believe that the organization wants him back and is willing to do whatever it takes to get him back. I just think that it's all up to Clayton Kershaw on what he wants to do and what his family is comfortable with. I don't believe that the Rangers are a great fit for him in the sense that, yeah, for sure, there's the proximity. You come home, it's a great story. But one thing I've been saying on my show is that, look, what he said on Dave Vassay's show about kind of not wanting that to be his last memory and things like that, right? As far as his last start, where he goes a third of an inning, he records just 1 out, gives up 6 runs. It was literally the worst start of his career. If he goes to Texas and he goes with the Rangers, and even if he has success, that's still going to be remembered as his last start with the Dodgers, right? So it's not going to write that. And then you add the fact that, look, when's the last time we've seen a back-to-back champion in Major League Baseball, right? The 2000 Yankees. Hasn't happened in the National League since the 70s Reds. It's rare to see a back-to-back champion. So if you truly want to win another World Series, which he recently said he does, it really makes sense to go to the Texas Rangers. So there's that. And then you have the fact that, look, there's the rehab situation, and would he be better close to the Dodgers people and their personnel as far as the proximity? Look, he could go rehab on Mars, and the Dodgers will be fine with that. They can send personnel there. They can have constant communication. So I don't think that's a factor. I still personally believe that he's not going to wear another team's uniform, that if he ever pitches again, that it will be with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And if you look at this rotation, the way it's set up, yes, you've added 2 aces in Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Tyler Glass now, but also you got Walker Buehler on a pitch count coming off a second major arm surgery. You've got a Bobby Miller who's still young and emerging, and that we don't know his limits as of yet. And also, do you really want to put that much pressure on Bobby Miller in year 2? You could use another left-handed pitcher just to make it a little more dynamic. I still personally believe he will be back with the Dodgers if he continues his playing career.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that I kept looking at, it's like, hey, is this dude? He always says he wants to go somewhere he's going to win, but he also doesn't want to feel like he's hanging on. And he also doesn't want to feel like he's kind of getting in the way, that he's just there. What I wonder is, like, he's not the number 1 guy here. He might not even be the number 3 guy if he comes back. You're talking about him potentially being behind Bobby Miller, but at worst, he's the number 4 dude in the starter when Walker is going to be healthy and in the line and in the rotation whenever they do take the training wheels off after spring training or however that goes. You got Yoshi Yamamoto. He's going to be right there at the top. They traded away big time prospects to get Tyler Glass now to be their number 2. I mean, you could put Kershaw anywhere. Obviously, it's not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/6 that is going to be in that order from here to eternity. But like on paper, who's starting in order when you get to October? Kershaw might not even be able to get into that rotation, and I don't know if that's something he really likes or if he wants to go hang out with the old heads in Texas and be able to make sure that he's their game 3 or game 4 starter. But I still agree. I agree with you that he will be back in LA where he belongs, like, if he wants to win. Where the fuck else are you going to go? You're going to go put back on a Los Angeles Dodgers uniform. Doug's going to give you that jacket, that Lasorda jacket he has on right now, and you're going to wear that as you're running in from the bullpen after another World Series championship. So those are my thoughts. I kind of worry about like how he feels where he's more needed, but at the end of the day, it's coming to LA.
I think, though, would you really kind of start thinking about it, though? You bring up a great point. And to your point, if everything works out like we hope it does with Yamamoto and Glass now and Bobby Miller and Walker Buehler, that's 4 right there. Clayton Kershaw is a guy who went from being your game 1 starter by necessity in the NLDS to a guy that's a back-end starter, Clayton Kershaw. walking first ballot Hall of Famer? Does that sit well with him? That's the kind of the question you ask. But on the same token, I think Kershaw is someone who's such a creature of habit. He's a stickler for routine. If you know how he starts his routine for his game starts, he knows exactly where he is every single minute and second. And he knows that the Dodgers know him better than anyone. Does he really want to start that process with the Texas Rangers in year one, where even if the organization understands where he's at this stage of his career, and that 2013, 2014, Clayton Kershaw isn't walking through that door, the fans are going to still see that name on the back of his uniform and expect a little bit of that pitcher, when we both know, and all the ball knowers know, he's not that guy, right? He's completely reinvented himself with the diminished velocity.
I mean, look at what we saw last year.
More than the fastball. So there's that. And then how about this? 56 strikeouts short of 3,000 strikeouts. Yeah. One of the best moments last season was him getting that 200th win and how much that meant to him at Dodger Stadium. It's just not going to hit the same in a Texas Rangers uniform.
If he's looking at 1 or 2 more years, which we would, knowing Kershaw, having talked to Kershaw or been around Kershaw in the locker room, hearing every interview for basically all of his career, we know max he's got 2 more years. He's really got 1 more if he goes out and gets that title. Why would you want to leave to go to frickin' Texas when you could keep it all LAD on the back of your baseball card and go out celebrating that parade that we were all promised in 20 and 20, and after the 20 offseason or World Series, whatever. I had it and then I tried to overdo it. But anyways.
Here's the thing too. Look, if you're Kersh in this situation, you're going to be embraced no matter what by these young players. It's not like they brought in veterans that are around his same age, right? Like a Scherzer or a Verlander, one of those guys, right? They're going to benefit from having Kershaw around him, just like Ryan Pepiot and Bobby Miller and Michael Grove and Gavin Stone and all those guys did last year, when he definitely gave them some pointers, mentored them to a degree, and they all respect him for what he is. And look, I've said in the past, look, I don't care if you got to bring Dallas to Los Angeles. You have to find a way to respect your legends. And this is the rare territory. I don't even put Kershaw in the same. He's basically at the table with Sandy Koufax, right? Where it's just basically them two. And yes, you could add Vin and Tommy and Fernando, and there's a couple guys you could consider, but some guys, they are able to dictate how they want their career to end. And if he wants to be back in LA, you have to honor that. And I think that, look, their injuries are going to be inevitable too. And I would not be surprised if somehow, some way, it's the middle to late next summer, and just somehow, some way, Kersh is back on the mound, and he's one of the better pitchers on this team. Because let's not forget, before he went down with the injury last season, he was top 5 in essentially every category before he hurt himself in Colorado.
We were talking about Cy Young. We were talking about Cy Young number 4 at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the shoulder fell apart.
The All-Star game
and the fact that, it was going to, I mean, it should have happened, but then obviously things became things, i.e. his shoulder falling apart. But even the fact that you mentioned a minute ago, him reinventing himself over the years, we literally saw him reinvent himself just to come back and pitch after the injury. We kind of, some people sort of, we'll say, brushed off the increased use of the changeup. No, that was because it hurt like hell to throw that curveball. This is what happens when you have a shoulder injury. The curveball hurts, and he reinvented himself again on the spot just to give this team what it needed, which was it needed desperate at the time, which was starting pitching. So as much as that, guys, I
want to ask you, Clayton, because for me, just on my show, and I know there's a lot of recency bias here, but it's not universal from the fan base that want him back in LA. It is not universal.
It's not. I mean, honestly, I've kind of flip flopped on it from time to time. If he was going to be like one of the main dudes, then I was probably less about it. But knowing that, or I was less gung ho about him coming back. But when you're talking about what he means to the team and what this upcoming season looks like, is projecting like for this team to, not have the guy that helped you like build it all up, or the guy that's really been there through the lows, through the worst, through the McCourt era, to hit the highest peaks, but have it be during a COVID season, and then not have him back, not welcome him back, not want him back. I don't know, that's one of the things where it does, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth if fans don't want to see him back in a Dodgers uniform. But you get to this time of year, they want all the shiny new things. I think some people would rather see Shota Imanaga over Kershaw because people really want a left-handed arm in that rotation. Me too, but why not have two? They're gonna go with a 6-man rotation at some point, one way or another. It's going to be a hybrid, as I keep saying.
Started a year early, right? But I agree with you. He's Woody, and Ohtani's Buzz Lightyear, right? And Andy's on the bottom of his foot, but it's Andy Friedman, right? I think that close to the spring training, if he wants to pitch, he's going to be in LA. I think it's as simple as that. I just don't see him signing with Rangers.
Get into the super chats here because I gotta say, I wanted with the bare minimum read the super chats. I very much appreciate you guys. Alfonso Lucio, $10 super chat. This was a while ago, and this kind of fits, I think, well with something we already talked about and with Kershaw. It says how this team is set up. Free agents should be requesting to have a meeting with the Dodgers. On Kershaw for a second, we'll button it up quickly after this one on Kersh. Do you think there's potentially a gentleman's agreement already in place, and the reason there hasn't been an announcement is because clearly they need a 40-man roster spot, and he's not going to pitch until June, July at absolute best, so there's no reason to announce the deal now. Do you think there could be something like that in the works?
I think absolutely. I would not be shocked at all, and I think that if he is going to come back, it's already something that they're aware of and it's agreed upon, because that's just how this organization operates, especially with Clayton Kershaw, because it's just different with him. I mean, you saw them not extending qualifying offers and just little things that they've done to make him feel comfortable in these situations. The Dr. Neil Elitroch connection there, I think there absolutely is something that possibly is in place, and that when it's announced and whenever that happens, then we won't be shocked at all, and it'll feel like something has been written a long time ago. Yeah.
Getting into the comments here, David Sabatini says, love to see the band is back together. Smash that thumbs up for Doug being in the house. Appreciate this guy. On his, this is his what's it called? His flu game right now. Is this your flu game? I mean, we've gone through many of them in our DN years. You've had at least 10, 15 flu games alone, probably last year. Always
it's my
ready.
Flu game. For some, I'm dropping 38, game 5, 97. NBA Finals, you could be Pippen and to carry me off the floor. But, no, honestly, man, I feel good. It's weird. I sound terrible, but I don't feel that bad.
I know how that goes.
Pretty down bad. And I'm honestly, what I'm sick and tired of is these fans out there trying to say, the Dodgers ruined baseball. No, I'm just playing. But, no, I mean.
I know. We have months of things.
I'm so stoked to be here and talk baseball, man. I mean, this is great.
Brent Domino 99, and also sorry for the burp right into the mic, guys. Says, what a collaboration. Hey, the OG boys are back. Rebecca says, Clint is my Batman. That works. I'll be Batman. I got that sweet studio money going on here. D-Max Mama says, son, you got to keep pumping up the ginger and squeezing out every drop of lemon juice to help your throat. So Doug, Mama's helping you out right there. Dave Luna says, hey, I'm 570. I thought Dave Essay hated you guys. No, that's we'll just walk away from that one. Love Dave Essay as far as I can throw him. Dave's a good dude. He's honestly a good dude. What else did I see? I saw one. Los on YouTube says, Kershaw retires as a Dodger with a championship and a parade. That is what we want. I think that is what America wants. I would vote for that this year, 2024. Vote Kershaw. Saw something else. Oh, there it is. 21 Eric, hit that gong, _LA, 499 super chat. Love seeing you boys together again. So is Randy not an option anymore because they have so many pieces that need playing time? Quick hit. What do you think, Randy Arozarena? Any chance of it happening still?
I mean, I had Bob Nightingale on the show. I asked him about it. He said that at this point, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're not desperate to trade Randy Arozarena. He's under 3 years of team control. He's expected to make around $7 million this year. So when you consider his production, he's really a top 3 left fielder in Major League Baseball. Then you add the star power. He's someone that if the Rays are going to trade him, they're going to expect a pretty big haul for him. And look, it's not that just because the Dodgers made one trade with the Rays this offseason doesn't mean they can't make another one. They are natural trade partners. If they were seriously considerate, I would absolutely expect the Dodgers to get involved. And maybe they've already had some conversations and they know how expensive he's going to be from a prospect capital standpoint. But at this point, I just don't think that the Rays are absolutely going to trade him this offseason. And, yeah, that's going to cost a lot. I mean, you're talking about a major haul for Randy. I would love to have him. I mean, I've said it before. I mean, he's someone that would probably get equal the amount of fan support as Shohei Ohtani. He would absolutely take over that left field. You would feel the electricity like we felt during Puig Mania. I would love to have him, but at this point, I just don't see it happening right now.
But if you're talking about trading prospects, that is something this team has a shit ton of that they're not going to use. We're not going to see Michael Busch play a big role on this team this year. You're not going to see Miguel Vargas, I'm sorry, Doug, play a big role on this team next year. You're going to see some of the pitching, but they have enough to give away. We don't need to see 26-year-old Landon Knack spend another season at AAA. We need to see Kyle Hurt be in the bullpen, but also they already have so many guys ready to go or coming back, being healthy. Like there is a stupid amount of riches, and there's a clear need. If you have all of this, you spend $1 billion on 2 fucking people alone, and they're running Chris goddamn Taylor out as their starting left fielder, that's a problem to me. But that's just my thoughts, and you know what? I'll encompass that thought and leave you with this question. And I should have left it more open as the right field pavilion, by the way, throws a $25 super chat our way, says this super chat is for $1,000, but I've deferred 975 of it till 2040. So hit that like and subscribe for deferral jokes. You know, I went to the bar the other week and I tried to defer my whole tab, but they didn't really go for it and they beat me and threw me out. But not just left field. Should the Dodgers improve in the outfield overall? Should the Dodgers improve in center field? How much faith do you have in, let's say, James Outman in center field after particularly what we saw, the hole he fell in the postseason?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think James Outman exceeded expectations in the regular season. I mean, he proved to be an above-average bat offensively. He's an above-average defender. And when you consider a guy making less than $1 million with all that team control left, when you've got some big whales on the payroll in Ohtani and Yamamoto and Freddie and Mookie, you're going to have to hit on some of this homegrown talent. I still think it's worth being patient with Outman and seeing if he can grow into being this everyday center fielder for years to come. We'll see how long he can hold down that position. I don't think that his ceiling is as high as peak Cody Bellinger or anything like that, but there's a lot of value in just being a 118 weighted runs created plus center fielder that has above average defense. A lot of teams around Major League Baseball would love to have that. And then you got Manuel Margot, who's included in the Tyler Glasnow trade. He provides a backup option in center field as well. But, yeah, I mean, that, to me, is a glaring hole. I mean, that's absolutely a glaring hole as far as the outfielder. You said it best just now.
You're 4. Again, Chris Taylor, James Outman. You have the resurgent, 1-year resurgence of Jason Hayward. And the 4th outfield dude is literally Manuel Margot. That's a lot of massive question mark to me.
Look, I mean, the reality is you could do worse than a Jason Hayward, Manuel Margot platoon option in right field. But can you really expect Jason Hayward to have the same year that he had in year one? He made all those adjustments. He shortened that swing. Before that swing was longer than the receipts at CVS. Shortened that swing, able to catch the fastballs, tearing the cover off the baseball. But he's a year older, signed that deal. I still think he's going to be solid, but you add Manuel Margot, who was below average with the stick, had a down year defensively. He was coming off that knee surgery. I think he can be solid, absolutely do. But then you shift over to left field. Chris Taylor's not the answer. And on top of that, that's not why you paid Chris Taylor. You paid Chris Taylor for that versatility and the inevitability that someone's going to get injured. You could plug him in elsewhere. So I think you got to go out there. And I think, look, at this point, I love me some Kike Hernandez, but I don't think that's the move at this point.
No.
I think that Kike is someone that had you added maybe another piece, maybe you do that. But I think that the fact that Ye plays infield provides some benefit as well. But I do think that they would benefit from having an everyday left fielder. Obviously, Randy Rosarena is the number one option if you could pull that off. But look, Tommy Pham is someone who's still out there that he could be had on the relative keep. And then
he wants to be a Dodger
out there. Adam Duvall, Randall Grichuk, the trade market. You got Anthony Santander. You got Dylan Carlson. You got Tommy Edman as a possible trade option for another position as well. So I do think, though, when you look at how this year could start, maybe you don't address everything in the offseason, and then you give Miguel Vargas the opportunity in the outfield at the beginning of the year. And if that doesn't work, you get Pages back in July and see if he can perform there as well. But the reality is, I do think you need a veteran bat, and it's just tough to really put your finger on the guy. Look, Teoscar Hernandez would be great, but are willing to spend $80 million on Teoscar Hernandez? That's a big question.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get multi-year. I don't think they're going that way with anybody right now. Johnny DeLuca would have had an opportunity to get some serious reps, but even so, I wasn't comfortable seeing him get the lion's share of time anywhere in this outfield. But I said this on my stream yesterday. With what they have, like, I'm okay with them not going out and spending money on Shota. Leave some money in the bank. Leave some of that Steve Cohen tier of tax, threshold space to make a move at the trade deadline. This team is very good enough right now to go out and probably still fall out of bed and win 96 games. And you don't need to win 100 games like we've said a number of times. We said it last year. Don't need to win 100 games. You don't need to even win the division. You just got to make the tournament to have a chance. And you don't need to go all in right now. Figure out what the team needs before. Because we've also seen Chris Taylor go off. We've seen really, really good stuff out of Jason Hayward in his career. Manuel Margot might not be the most sexy pickup, but I trust Andrew Friedman. I trust Brandon Gomes. I trust his front office and the moves they've made over the years. But all of that said, I got to get the gong for a super chat. No comment, but Grayson Kukuk, assuming I got that right, says super chat. It says $4.99 for nothing. See, I'm gonna scroll. Oh, there it is. He threw another one our way. So I need Jordan Montgomery and Teoscar Hernandez straight up. I would like to see Teoscar Hernandez. I just don't think they're gonna. I just realized what you're doing. I appreciate the waving back and forth. I forgot about that. It's been a minute, but I would like to see Teoscar Hernandez. I just don't think they're going to spend that kind of money on him, to be honest. But let's see. Mr./X is in the chat. Says, sup, guys? What is going on? Carlos V says, new toys make you forget real quick. That's true. Just a couple years ago. I mean, look back at that 2018 Dodgers roster. You know who led the team in WAR that year? Justin Turner.
I'm about to say JT.
4.8 wins above replacement. Not a very good team. Made a World Series. It's not about having all of these superstars. And you know what, Dodger fans, we're already blessed, I guess we'll say enough. Dodger fans are already greedy enough. You don't need to have an all-star. You don't need to have a superstar in every position. We've also seen that. It doesn't work. We saw the 111-win Dodgers. It didn't work. Let us win some damn postseason games. Hold on, $10 from Irvy. I'm gonna go with that. $10 is let's go blue broskies. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, to get to your point, this is not a fantasy baseball league with two teams, right? You are not going to have an all-star every position, even though next year, if we count the all-stars and the possibilities, you could have as many as 7 or 8 all-stars on this team. But the reality is you do want to give yourself some flexibility and hold on to that prospect capital if you don't get the guy you want this offseason. Now, I do think there are some guys would absolutely still trade for, and I still think that they're going to be possibly in on a Burns or a Cease or a Jesus Luzardo if that ever became available. I definitely think they're going to maintain that flexibility because the reality is until they trade those prospects, they still have them, right? It's not like because signed Yamamoto and Ohtani doesn't mean that you can't cash in on those trade chips. They still have those trade chips, and teams out there value the Dodgers prospects. So I still fully expect them to utilize that this year. We know Ohtani, part of the whole deal from him coming here was, hey, you're going to be aggressive and you're going to try to put together a team that gives us the best chance to win the World Series. And a part of that is trading with these prospects who, a lot of them, you can't increase their value. How are you going to increase Michael Busch's value at this point, right?
You can't. You literally cannot.
Miguel Vargas' value at this point if you don't give him opportunities. So you can't just let him rot down there at the AAA level and give them their opportunities. But I will say that, look, as good as this team is, defensively, I know you're big on defense. I've always loved to talk to you about defense.
Give me that D.
And Gavin Lux on the left side of that infield.
Oh, God. Don't even
get me started. Is Gavin Lux a shortstop? Is he a second baseman masquerading as a shortstop? Is the Willy Adames trade a possibility? I mean, those are things that keep me up at night.
If anything is keeping you up at night, it's one, watching old-ass, like, mid-90s NBA games on YouTube, and it's thinking about the ways to fix the Dodgers. This is what we know about DMAC _LA. Guys, make sure you follow him because he's He's putting in the work right now. This is what he does. Also, we got $1.99 super chat from Dan Smith says that we need a New York shoey. Doug, you're on the shoey ban list, by the way. No shoeys. I don't want to see no shoeys on the stream. I
owe everyone a Yashui Nobo Yamamoto.
Bruh.
So at some point I'll give you guys that one, but not tonight.
In the new studio. That's when you can drop it. I don't know if you guys even announced that yet, but when that happens, Mike Petty, I think you'll really appreciate this one. Mike Petty says we need Pedro back so we can trade him for to line out the Shields. So
let's go, baby. Let's go back in time like the Avengers and change get the Infinity Stones before Thanos. I'm down with that.
You need that the what's it called? Back to the Future, the handbook. You need Biff's book. Kevin wants you to sell him that jacket. I don't think he's gonna do that. I'm pretty sure Doug's gonna be buried in that jacket.
It's really sweaty. This is extremely sweaty right now.
You know what? I'm disappointed. I was really hoping that you would at least wear the hey, I'm Doug and I haven't done my laundry, so I'm wearing my Amazon my Amazon.com or Walmart Dodgers button up. That's a beautiful shirt.
Where I'm the manager at Island shirt.
Yeah, I love. Oh, that's one of my favorite. That's my favorite Doug shirt of all time, guys.
I'm going. Not even wearing a shirt underneath this one.
I know. Trust me, I know Doug. If he's at home, chances are he's not wearing a shirt. You know what? Today was such a special day to have you here. I'm actually wearing shoes. But also, I just didn't take off my shoes after we got back from walking the dogs earlier. So that is where we are at. The one last question, and then we're going to go all comments. Oops, all comments, because you guys are going off, and I feel bad for missing all these comments. Realistically, I should not have even written any questions for you. I should have known that we can just sit here and figure out how to put together probably 5 hours of content, because that is what you and I do, and this is why I love you, my guy. But grade this Dodgers offseason so far for me.
Look, I mean, it's A+++. I mean, really, it's tough to say.
Could have stopped at Shohei, right?
Of all time. It's just about adding other pluses at this point. I mean, if you get a right-handed bat that's a lefty masher, which I think you absolutely definitely need, especially after the Braves. You got Chris Sale, and you got that starting rotation and that tough team over there. You could add another plus if you add another starting pitcher where they absolutely think they need to add, whether that be Imanaga, I'm not really high on. Want to talk to you about that possibly. And Sean Manaea, I think, is an interesting name that you could get on the cheap. I'm even possibly in on Ryu. I mean, if he's healthy, he's someone you could get on the cheap as well. Mm-hmm. So you need to get another starting pitcher that can eat some innings and fill out this rotation on a 6-man rotation. But still, it's an A++. I mean, you get Shohei Ohtani, the most coveted free agent in the history, not just baseball, but in all of sports.
All of sports.
And not only that, you sign him to the most team-friendly contract that was possible, right? I mean, $460 million in present-day money, $700 million. You get the deferrals. It puts you in a position where you have all that cash flow that you can spread around. We've already seen it pay dividends. You're getting Yamamoto and getting Glass now, and you needed 2 aces. I said the day after the NLDS, trade for Glass now, sign Yamamoto. You check those boxes off. You got Ohtani. You brought back Jason Hayward. And look, all that's left is to go out there and get a right-handed bat, another starting pitcher. And I do think this team would benefit from a Emmanuel Clase, someone like that, to give you a lights-out bullpen piece to pair with an Evan Phillips. And I think Evan Phillips had more success as that fireman, high-leverage guy than putting him in an everyday closers type role. So they still have work to do, and they're not done yet. But look, this is an offseason for the ages. He absolutely crushed it. It was a masterclass by Andrew Friedman. Give it an A++.
Yeah, I have to fully agree with you. You can't not go with an A++, even A triple plus offseason, because if you go out and get Shohei Ohtani along with that contract, you won everything. Like we've said it for years, man. Just start building that Andrew Friedman statue now and put it right at the top of the elevator. It says Dodgers and it's Andrew Friedman above that damn sign. I also love the sneaky thing that was baked into that Ohtani contract. He's saying, hey, Andrew, you're guaranteed to be here for another 10 years, bro. Like, we are in this together. Same with you, Mark Walter. This is how this is going. But guys, sound off. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm interested in seeing what you guys think about this offseason so far. We want your grades. And, it's going to be comments time. And I think we got a special guest potentially about to join us. if he's still watching. I don't know where he's at, but we'll jump into the comments while we're doing this. Noel just joined the chat. I see that. He says, I love Clinton
what up,
D-Mac. He
Noel?
says, and he also says, where the super chats at? No, we've been going off on the super chats. Oh, watch out. Is that a very special DJ producer, Cody, in this chat?
Lou?
Oh my gosh, we are back, boys.
All
we
the
are
way back. That
I
is
was watching
Cody.
the show, and I knew I texted Clint, and I was like, Clint, I got to get on the show. It's a DN Blue Heaven reunion. I had to join in. You know I had to. And also, I'm offended. You guys talked about outfielders, and you guys talked about improving the center field, and you didn't bring up my boy,
Kevin
Pillar.
Kevin Pillar, bro?
I mean, come on. Like, you guys didn't bring him
Pillar,
up.
bro.
That was really offensive. I really got offended by that, guys. I mean,
Sorry,
Kevin Pillar
that's-
is literally a free agent. You guys are talking about the center field, and you didn't even bring up his name.
That's
highly offensive.
that is our
It's not
bad
that
Cody.
good.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Honestly, I completely forgot about his existence until you saw some highlights of him in Atlanta. But guys, Kody Lou, our longtime producer, he went through many trials and pain along with us doing Blue Heaven. But my guy is back. Look at them checking in. He's checking in over from ESPN LA studios because he's a big shot now. Cody.
I heard there was a Blue Heaven reunion, and I know you guys needed help reading the comments, is what I used to do for you guys. So I had to hop back on and read the comments for you guys.
Let's
as well.
go. Give us some
Looking
comments.
Great, my guy rocking that Justin Herbert shirt, wearing that Nick Carter haircut. I'm feeling it, man. You looking good, my man.
Oh, that is great. All right, let's find some comments, boys, because I want to show our boy Shohei TA7 season 2024 says Tommy Pham should be brought home. Doug, you brought that up earlier. Tommy Pham makes an abundance of sense for this team, no doubt. Adam Duvall is another guy that we've seen be mentioned a lot more. If he's somebody that could come on a cheap, a cheaper 1 or 2 year deal. I mean, Doug, if you are the superstar that you are, and somebody like the Dodgers came to you, and you know you can go out there and get yourself an 8-year deal worth 150 or whatever, wouldn't you take the JD Martinez deal to maybe come to LA and potentially win a title this year?
Absolutely. I mean, this is reliever rehab. It's pitcher rehab. It's now position player rehab as well. And you can revitalize your career, set yourself up for another multi-year deal, which JD Martinez absolutely did. I will say, though, that if you look at players like Tommy Pham, which I was on board with him during the July episode we did about the trade previews that we were talking about. And he's someone that, look, he would make a lot of sense for this team. But just like bullpen pieces, outfielders with pop are also volatile from year to year as well. If you look at Tommy Pham, he had some up series, had some down series in the postseason. If you look at his numbers as a whole with Arizona, he was a below average bat after having a great start to the season with the Mets. So there's no guarantees you're going to replicate the same success you had the year prior. And if there's a move during the season where, okay, you can identify who's that hot outfielder bat that can help us this season, that's a position where you can kind of address that. But I would be okay with Tommy Pham. You know, he posted his fantasy football win championship on Twitter a couple of days ago. I thought that was kind of fun.
What is that?
Of course, Jock Peterson. I know a lot of people
what's his
are
team
not happy
name?
about the family feud that they had a few years ago.
Yeah, what's his
But
team
still,
name? This
look,
team
some
slaps?
people don't like him. I think that he would help this team win baseball games.
Cody, you like that one, right?
I wasn't paying. I was reading the comments. I was trying to do my job.
I wasn't paying.
You guys brought me on to do my job, and now
What
you
your
guys are
show
asking me.
chain? What's on the show chain? What are those, Lucky Charms?
I will note, Cody's
It's,
the one who reached out.
Hawkins' tears.
Cody's the one who reached out because I'm already
Now you made it
imagining.
personal.
I'm already imagining that text messages have been
personal.
sent to Doug's phone about things. Cody's the one who reached out, wanted to join the show and be our humble producer, man, because we love that dude. We love this is the boys. The boys are back together. The spring training boys. We almost there. We got Noah out of town right now, but
Is that a reunion? Is that going to be a reunion?
all the way
Spring
reunion.
training?
We're gonna go get some curlies, have a good
Yep.
time. But hey, Doug,
Get some chicken nachos.
get some homemade chicken nachos
Yeah,
at
I need some
Denny's.
nachos.
Hey, Doug, Duvall or Pham? What do you want?
If I had to pick between the two, I think I go with Pham. Just more of a track record of recent success from last season. I think more postseason upside if I had to go between those two. But I think Duvall's an interesting name. When he was with Boston last season, definitely had some nice moments. Kind of just depends on how they kind of feel he can mesh in with this team. So Look, I also think that, like I said, I mean, you just never know what's going to happen in the regular season as far as who's going to become available. I mean, the names that we saw a few years ago, I mean, whoever thought would Trey Turner, Max Scherzer would be available, right? Names like that. I mean, sometimes I definitely think that you want to be a little patient. I think this organization has already kind of gone against the grain and kind of broken their own rules this offseason.
Yeah.
So,
man, have they?
They're still going to be selective. I mean, I always say about this club, they don't sign players they like. They only give the bags to the ones they love, right? The ones they're head over heels in love with. No prenup, right? We love Shohei. We love Yamamoto, Mookie, and Freddie, all these guys. Those are the ones that they're going to go and give big contracts to. And then the Jason Haywards, it's about, okay, are you good on the field? And do you bring something else as far as some intangibles? So I still think that there's this little misconception right now that the Dodgers have completely changed and have all this money burning holes in their pockets and they're just going to make all these moves overnight. They're still extremely selective and they're going to only bring in players that they think fit perfectly with the nucleus of this group.
Yeah, and that's what I would say. And also, I apologize to people. I'm laughing because some of the things that are being said in the chat are effing hilarious, including from our good friends at Noise by Noel and, of course, Buddy is hanging out in the chat, and they're going off. But I was gonna say to you, Doug, or to piggyback off of that point. I guess I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, they're gonna make those just before spring training moves. We haven't even seen them make that many minor league deals, and that's what this team has thrived for years. Whether it's somebody like a Ryan Brazier in season or Jason Hayward as one of the first moves of last offseason. This is where they live. A cheap-ish Tyler Anderson move that we saw hit in 22. That's where this front office has really, really thrived. They've dabbled, they've stuck their toe into that free agency water at the highest point in the market, but they never really fired until they really wanted to this offseason to get the two biggest dudes they needed and the clearest needs they had, which is star power of Shohei and a legitimate young front end of the rotation type of dude. But hey, Cody, what you got in the chat there, bud?
We have a super chat.
Oh, hit that gong.
Yo.
Do it, Doug. Doug, you have to do it.
Oh yeah, I forgot we do this. That one has been a while. By the way, DKM says we are all back at DN reunion. The boys are back. By the way, also I'll throw it out there before you read the super chat. I did talk to Eric Yulo and I've locked him in. Yulo's going to come on and talk Dodger baseball with me at some point in time. So
oh my god,
stay tuned with that one. He's on vacation right now, living that life. But anyways, what do you got for us, Cody?
Corporate lifestyle. We have a super chat for $1.99. Noah Ortega, shout out to you. Clint is Batman. D-Mac is Superman, and Cody is Flash.
Oh. Wait, Cody, does that mean you're problematic like that Flash actor dude?
Oh, no. I had Kevin Dodgers Guerra said, is that Yamamoto on the screen? I'm not Yamamoto, but I'm happy that he is in LA. Maybe you'll catch us together soon.
Tina Guzman in the chat saying, I say bring back Jock Pop. Doug, would you ever want to see Jock Peterson back in a Dodger uniform?
Yes.
Man, honestly, as a fan, it'd be great. I love Jock Peterson, always have, always will. But I just think with this lineup with so many lefties, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's all about those warm and fuzzy feelings of romanticizing that era of Dodger baseball, and I totally get it. But look, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for what this team needs right now. Let's not forget they added the best hitter in the game who happens to be left-handed.
Yeah.
So I just don't see a good fit. And also defensively, he's really kind of not where you want him to be at this point of his career.
Yeah, no. The man is he not. I saw him late and this is coming from me. I am a portly boy, but I saw him at Dodger Stadium, Dodgers playing Giants at late in the season, and my God, my boy needs to lay off the cookies. I would tell you that. Lay off the cookies, Jock. Lay off the ice cream, my guy. You're trying to get one more contract, and lose a few LBs. Love that guy.
Wow.
I know. I just absolutely
Doug,
trashed
didn't you
him.
say that one time?
About what?
I don't remember. It was one of the Blue Heaven shows. I think we were talking about Lance Lynn, and people were talking about Lance Lynn losing some weight.
Oh God!
And then you said if you want the dub, you don't necessarily like something like that. I don't know.
No, if you want the dub, you got to lose the chub. I think is what it might have been. Something,
that's right. That's right.
something
That's
like
right.
that.
If you
By the
don't-
way,
yeah, exactly.
By the way, if you guys heard it, Lance Lynn actually just gave up a home run right now. So
There's another dinger.
I saw one right here. Guillermo says, "Thank God for #Blue Heaven. Feels good to be back with you boys. It really does." Noise by Noel says, "I feel like someone promised Ryan Brazier would be great last year. I forgot who it was though. Doug, was that you?"
My boy Ryan Brazier. You know what it is.
I
You know what's big on
promised
him.
you.
Shout out to Noise by Noel, my future stepdad.
Don't forget, people are here, Doug. Okay, Doug, let's get in.
So, a few more comments if you guys want to roll through them.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. What do you got?
I have Mookie. I don't know why. I think that might be Mookie Betts in the chat. Mookie's asking at the midseason, just Mookie, just says Mookie.
That's it. It's just the comment is just Mookie.
It just sorry.
Oh, okay.
The comment sure with Mookie, and he asked, "What are some?" This is looking ahead a little bit, but they said at the trade deadline, what are some targets to look at? You guys think that? I mean obviously it's a long way to go.
Dream scenario would be obviously Nolan Arenado became available, right?
Ooh.
That's the pipe dream. You could maybe, who knows, move Muncy to the DH and have Ohtani play in the outfield. I mean, just thinking crazy, right? But I do think that, look, what do we see in 2021, Clint? You had that rotation with Trevor Bauer, and you had Dustin May. You lose Dustin May in May, you lose Trevor Bauer, and then what do? You go out there and trade for a Max Scherzer, right? So I still think that you just have to take it game by game, month by month, and then when the trade deadline comes around, if you need another starting pitcher, I still wouldn't rule out one of the big aces like a Corbin Burns that you could go out there and make a move and trade. And then, like I said, another offensive weapon is going to help you as well. And we'll find out how good this offense is. And I think Clint, too, I don't think I know a lot of people talking about this, Clint, is like, look, Mookie and Freddie, they had A-plus seasons. They had MVP years last year. You literally got peak Freddie Freeman and peak Mookie Betts. If they don't sustain that this year, but you get elite Ohtani, it's going to kind of balance out a little bit, right? Are you truly going to get peak Freddie and Mookie and MVP Ohtani coming off that injury? I mean, kind of makes you wonder. And if you're not, I think you definitely need more of another impact bat than you actually realize.
Yeah, and that's what they'll be able to figure out as you get deeper into the season. You know, we saw them kind of already do the we saw this playbook happen in 23. They ran with Miguel Vargas for the first 3+ months of the season, 3.5. Didn't work out, and then they pivoted. They pretty much went Mookie, full-time second baseman against right-handed pitchers, and they just let that sort of be the plan, be the play. They can do that again. They could see really what they have in Gavin Lux this year, coming off of the knee injury. Is Max Muncy going to be I personally, I talked about this earlier with Casey Porter, and I've talked about it. I think I talked about it yesterday, or maybe I was talking about it yesterday in my live stream. Shout out me. Give us a thumbs up while you're here. If there's anybody that's putting in work this offseason, it's Max Muncy, because he knows. He's all in on this, and he knows, he's pissed at what that season was last year, particularly defensively. And maybe he's not working as much on the swing and the pop and all that. Maybe he's working on, the hands. Work on the hands, Max. But I feel good about Max. I feel better about Max. But if he's not ready, or if he's not the championship third baseman they need, they will be able to go out and find somebody, somewhere, somehow. It's going to be harder because it's harder to find good 3Bs. But they will make something work. That is what this team does. So don't sleep on them going into the trade deadline and out of the trade deadline with what they enter the season with.
That's a great point.
Those
I mean,
are words.
A lot of the first half of the season, the first 3 months, about evaluation, and the big one is going to be, like you said, Gavin Lux. Do they have the long-term solution there at shortstop? You still have Miguel Rojas as a backup option, but Max Muncy, it's about, can you produce at the plate to justify having you at the hot corner? And his best defense is his offense, right? If you're hitting 36 home runs and getting north of 100 RBI and you're hitting the ball hard and you're being very productive at the plate, then yeah, we can live with you being a bottom 4 defender. Because the reality is, you look at every single defensive metric, he's one of the worst in the entire sport. And you pair that with an inexperienced Gavin Lux who's played like 50 games at the shortstop position on the left side of that infield with the restriction on the shift. Man, I get up at 4:30 in the morning with a cold sweat just thinking about that in a postseason game, right? So that definitely strikes fear into me, but I agree with you. Let's see if there are going to be any adjustments from Max Muncy. We don't need him to be great. We just need him to be close to league average defensively. And then absolutely, when you look at the contract he's on, hometown discount for the Dodgers in that one, it's a good deal for them.
Hey, Cody, I think you want to mute yourself. I'm hearing.
Hey, Cody, hey, let's go to Nobu after this. You be Yamamoto, I'll be Shohei.
Ooh, I'm down. I'll film it. I'll film it.
Right, because you signed a new deal? You don't get your signing bonus yet, though, right? That direct deposit ain't
Are you
hit
talking
yet.
to me?
Yeah. He says he wants to go to Nobu with you, and you're going to be Yamamoto, and he's Shohei.
What about Clint?
I got to take the
Clint
photo.
too?
I'll be the guy taking the photo. I got this idea. I'm going to start from the ground, and I'm going to pan up, and I think that'll be a real good video. And then, Boo, what do you think, Doug? You want to do a Nobu like sushi restaurant review? Things close to Dodger Stadium.
The
sushi guide.
Nobu guide for sure.
Dodgers. You got Dodgers D-Mac doing a sushi guide. There's the thumbnail.
What's your go-to order at a sushi place?
Oh man, we're going off.
I'm kind of an adventurous eater, so I'll usually go California roll. What?
It's really very adventurous. Always, Doug, you always got to go with the
sashimi.
No, you go with the tempura California roll, because that way, it's even more cooked. Like your voice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Let's obviously we can just keep going on
Let's go to opening day and then
I know Doug would. He 100% would. But I can tell when we should be hitting the wrap it up button. Cody, why aren't you producing us, bro? What's going on?
I got one more. I'm interested to hear your guys's. I gotta ask one more. I gotta put one more comment in here.
Okay. I was gonna say let's do a couple more, so that's at least one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Mike M. He asked this earlier. He said Cease or Luzardo at the deadline.
Ooh.
Who would you guys rather have?
I'll
Cease
take that
or
one.
Luzardo.
So I'm huge on Luzardo. I mean, one of the hardest throwing
I was asking
lefties
both of you guys, but
under 3
Yeah,
years.
he said
of
he
team
took it.
control still. Miami natural trade partner. And the reality with Dylan Cease is 2 years of team control. You're essentially looking at 2 years of a rental for a sports client. And then he's talking about a guy who's had basically one elite season. I like Luzardo in that deal for sure if I had to pick one of the two.
I keep hearing, I keep seeing the Luzardo thing. I have not even bothered to take the time to do look up any research on Luzardo, because I don't want whatever Jesus Luzardo is on my team. No. Right now, this offseason, they're operating on that. They're operating on the top shelf booze. They're in like the I don't know. They're at the best restaurants right now. They're ordering that ribeye like our boy Noah Cancel Cameras likes to have, that big fat meaty steak. That's what they're trying to do.
pigging out all the time.
Pigging out, not a Jesus Luzardo. That's like I don't know. To me, that's like going to In-N-Out. Oh, that's another In-N-Out burn for me this offseason, gang.
Here's the thing, though. Look, they make Kirkland vodka and Grey Goose vodka in the same factory. So sometimes you don't even realize it.
That's fair.
Jesus Luzardo is actually the Grey Goose, but he's kind of labeled maybe as some Kirkland vodka. I think that Jesus Luzardo is someone where, look, the Dodgers, I mean, Pablo Lopez, their interest in him a few years ago, they've scouted Miami's pitchers in great detail and gone to great length to do that. So I'm with you. I mean, the thing about Dylan Cease for me, and the fact that he looks like he's a hipster and collects typewriters and brings typewriters like Starbucks to write screenplays in Silver Lake, is the fact that, last year, hitters were not offering at that slider outside of the zone. Whereas Blake Snell, you can live with that higher walk rate because that he's going to get that whiff. He's going to get that chase out of the zone. It makes you just kind of wonder, have opponents adjusted to Dylan Cease? That's kind of the big question I have. Whereas I just don't know if he's a safer bet based on how the White Sox are packaging him. And then you've heard some rumors, of course, that the Braves were hot on him. They end up getting Sale. Does that kind of clear the way for another team to get Cease, right, as far as the trade packages go? So I don't know. Is he a one-year wonder, or is he a guy that is a top 15 pitcher when he's right. I think we talked about this on the show during the season. You kind of get to give everyone a mulligan that was on the White Sox because it was a dumpster fire last season. So there is that, but I do think that you still try to get Burns if you can, and you try to maybe go after Luzardo if he becomes available. That's a lot of team control, so it's going to cost a lot, but go dig deep on Luzardo, man. He's definitely got a lot of upside and talent.
To me, I look at, okay, you like, because he's left-handed, right? I think that's one of the things I know about him. Yep. But outside of that, they also, if you're talking about team control, look at how many dudes are kind of just sitting there ready and waiting to pitch for this Dodgers team or to be sent somewhere to pitch for another team, and they, Dodgers can go get somebody like a Luzardo or a Cease or a Burns or whatever. But at some point, you really do got to see what you have with Sheehan, what you have with Frasso, what you have with somebody like a Landon Knack. If he's going to be anything, are you going to leave Kyle Hurt in the rotation, or are you going to move him to the bullpen where he probably clearly belongs, and then you wait a little bit longer? Also, if we're looking at 2025, who's supposed to be joining the rotation then? You got Shohei. You need to save some space and some money for Walker Buehler if you're going to re-sign him. If you want to have Kershaw have a spot on your team, you probably need to leave space for him as well. But you go down a little bit further in the minor leagues. The kid's name is escaping me. The lefty, the young boy,
Max Bruns.
Yeah, Maddox Bruns. I mentioned him earlier on something, but. At some point he's going to be
Greg
somebody.
Maddox, by the way.
I don't think it works
Just
that
kidding.
way. But I don't know. I guess yada yada words.
Wait, what's your
baseball.
take on Minaya?
Oh God, no! I'm out. I'm out on Minaya.
You're out?
No, I don't like the hair.
You don't like the hair?
Yeah, the hair looks familiar.
Minaya, if you look at it, he struggled early on, and then he was really good after May. Limited hard contact. Does not give up home runs, strikeout rates above average. I think you could get him around $20 million on a 2-year deal, something like that. I don't know. I'm not totally against the idea of him. And also, too, if you're going to go to that 6-man rotation you're talking about, and you're going to go to it a year early before Shohei Ohtani, he's someone who they used in that swingman role last year for the Giants. So he had just 10 starts in his last 37 appearances. So they mix it up. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if you're looking to really get some value. And you mentioned some of those pitchers that just want to wear that Dodgers uniform to see what this is all about in Dr. Mark Pryor's pitching lab and Connor McGinnis, and try to get guys to get optimized. So I don't know. It kind of makes a little bit of sense if you want to go that route and find some value to one of those mid-tier type pitchers.
Yeah, but what I follow up, or what I retort with, is you already have Ryan Yarbrough. Kind of already that dude. What I would be more interested in seeing, if they're trying to get a lefty and they're trying to have somebody that should conceivably be cheaper, they don't need a lefty in the rotation necessarily. They need a lefty bullpen arm. Unless you're really, really high on Vesia and Caleb Ferguson, that is another pretty massive hole or gray area on this roster. And Matt Moore was really, really good when he was healthy last year. He's a free agent still, unless something happened that I completely missed in the last couple of days. Like, if you're looking for somebody that cheap, that has some sort of track record, I would rather see a lefty reliever. And no, people already saw the video or watched my video. You guys know how I feel about it. I would not really be all the way in on Josh Hader because that's a lot of money, but you need a lefty in the bullpen.
100%. And that's where you start to really consider handedness, right? Righties, lefties. And you look at right now, Caleb Ferguson, you look at Alex Vesia, they've been very inconsistent. Can you really trust them in the postseason? I think the answer right now is probably not. If you look at a team that's championship window with this current group is really next few seasons. I mean, you got Mookie turning 35 next year, Betts turning 32 next season. You've got a couple more years of Will Smith under team control. I think when you look at this window right now, you absolutely have to get an experienced left-handed reliever. You mentioned Josh Hader. It sounds great. It'd be awesome. He's an elite closer. If you look at his expected numbers, they're still really good. He's definitely transitioned from being a multi-inning weapon to a guy that's a for sure surefire one-inning closer type, and he's been outstanding. I just don't think that they're going to go north of $100 million for him. And look, if he falls into their lap, it'd be great if they got him at the right price. Sure, be opportunistic like we saw them be with Freddie Freeman a few years ago. Still think a team like the Yankees and the Rangers will go out there and pay him big money. But, yeah, Moore's a really good option as well. that you mentioned. There are some names, left-handers, that you have to go out and pursue. But I absolutely agree that if you want to dig deep into the needs of this team, you have to find another left-handed reliever that you can trust heading into the postseason next year, and even before that, to be honest.
Yeah, there are a lot of big-time left-handed swinging power hitters out there in the National League. If somehow the Yankees make it to the World Series, you got to face Juan Soto. We need to see them have that one guy who you could really, really trust on the mound, or just a bunch of dudes who can get anybody out. But I already like the bullpen kind of as it's set up. I just would like to see one more left-hander that's really pretty lights out, or at least somebody that has high upside. But we have Victor asking, who's the youngest, D-Mac, Cody, or Clint? D-Mac, who do you think's the youngest?
The oldest. And
What did you say, Doug?
Cody's the oldest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We call him Grandpa Cody.
Yeah, this is 40 for Cody.
We call him Grandpa Corbin. Hey, Cody, you look great for 75. I'll tell you, bud. Oh wait, that's right. You what? You're a couple weeks away from turning 22. Is that what it is? Damn,
Yeah.
I remember the sign in the office. I remember the sign being up in DNHQ2 plus whatever we were calling it at the time. This long until Cody gets to drink. And they didn't even do it.
No, I did a little.
Damn, that's crazy.
Shots.
Taking some of them Jim Beam shots. Let's go.
And so, Cody, what's the number one thing you miss most about being the Blue Heaven producer?
The number one thing, hearing what stupid stuff you're gonna say next.
Oh, okay. Well, I think I'll take that. I appreciate that. It means a
No,
lot.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I definitely miss being with you guys. I do miss it because it was always a good time. It was always a good time. But I definitely do miss all your sayings, Doug. If you want the dub, you got to
slug.
Mitigate the slug.
There we go. That was a good one. That was
one of my favorites.
Some people are asking about your jacket, Doug. Is that an original?
Original meaning. Well, I mean, it's a Mitchell and Ness. It's like a
reprint.
You know, it's not fake. I mean, it's not from the actual early '80s, but come
on, Doug.
It's very sweaty.
Diane says that I'm a bad influence on Cody. Yeah. Doug, I
disagree.
I feel bad now that you're more professional. I feel like I'm making you be more lowbrow, or yourself. But
I know Doug's leaning back on his chair, and I didn't like.
Yeah,
that was like after I did the shoe, I got a DM from someone that was like, D-Mac, I just want to say you're my favorite baseball analyst, but you're not as good when you're drunk on the show. And I feel like you've been drinking way too much on every episode, and I'm starting to get very concerned. And he left some rehab numbers for me to call and start rehab. And I was like, dude, I did a shoey on a show like 3 times. Like, I felt so guilty. You know what I mean? So,
there was a couple of those times I was begging you not to.
Promises tomorrow. I mean,
yeah. Hey, listen. First step is admitting you have a problem, Doug, and we're here for you. We want you to know that. We're always here for you.
It's filled with all water. Come on down.
Oh, God.
I should have brought a Coke Zero.
Oh, you got to have the CZ, guys.
Yeah, gotta have a CZ.
The longer we keep going, the more we're just going to like dilute into saying dumb things to each other and not care about the chat or about the people or about putting out fine polished stuff. I'm responsible now, guys, or something. I don't know. I was never not responsible before. But this has been.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I was gonna say this has been fun, and don't think this is the last time you guys see my boy DMac _LA here on the All Dodgers show. By the way, the way I set things up also is. This YouTube channel is just in my name. We're not just doing Dodgers. There will be other baseball. Doug, I don't know if you ever want to be around to talk about all baseball things, because I really like talking about all baseball things, and I think you'd be good at it. Spread your legs and fly a little bit.
Baseball show.
Should be.
Doug wants to talk about the Cincinnati Reds.
Talk about the Reds.
One of these days, you might see the field level baseball name on this channel. Maybe a Doug v. Clint reunion. Doing or what is it? Not. I mean, it'll be a reunion, but it'll be a rematch on at Top Golf because I got to get back that Michelada. Depending on when you're going out, maybe we'll cross pollinate on some spring training stuff. But this guy will be around. He's my ride or die right there.
Me? The pink shirt.
Oh yeah, there it
Tiger
is.
Woods meme. Recent. Okay.
Oh, it is my guy.
That's enough
Big
for me,
dog.
Doug.
Big dog. And then Cody hanging out. Cody, are you down to be here when I have Noah on as well?
The next time I'm on here, Noah Cameras and Noise by Noel will have to be here.
Oh, ooh.
Nah, well, Actually, I scrap that. Maybe Noah. The next time I'm on here, I'm bringing a special guest. You guessed it, Kevin Pillar, bro.
Kevin
He's gonna be
Pillar.
on the show.
Now I'm gonna have to
Kevin
call.
Miller, bro.
I have to call your company. I'm going to all my old friends of the show and whatever. At some point, I got to hit up my guy Greg Bergman. Go super old school for people that have been following me for 1,000 years. So one of these days he'll be fancy enough to join me on here. But guys, we are going to end it here because it just makes sense. I like what Los says. We'll do a Blue Heaven pub crawl. We've had it for years. Diane's been trying to set up the Dodgers Nation meetup. Well, we could just have a Dodgers fan meetup one of these days. Maybe Cody will even
At a
come
bar,
out and play.
maybe.
Yeah,
At a bar.
maybe
If only there was
Doug,
like a
do you know
a
of any
video.
bars? Do you know of any
Dodgers
bars
bars.
close?
We have 45 episodes of that. If you want. What's the best time to come to this bar?
What's the best time to hum, Doug? All right, we're going to get the hell out of here. But, Cody, appreciate you coming aboard last minute, forcing your way on the show and making it fun. Doug, I love the hell out of you. I miss working with you daily.
Brother.
But I appreciate you. You didn't lose my phone number. Because, they say Blue Heaven for life or something like that. I don't know. But, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. If you want to see more Doug collabs here on my channel, mash that thumbs up button. Say, put an F in the chat for Doug or whatever the hell people do. We will have him back very, very soon at some point. Maybe every month. I'm going to lock him into every month. I'll pay him, and that way he doesn't get in trouble. Stay tuned to the channel this week, guys. I'm going to be talking bullpen at some point, and I have some great prospects talk coming up with Dodgers Daily's Casey Porter. So subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm Real FRG and all of the things. That is DMAC_LA on all of the things. Does Cody have Twitter? Does Cody have Twitter?
At Dodgers. Apparently at Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
It's
Apparently.
at Shohei. Hey, you know what, Cody? I'm happy you as Shohei. You broke the news that you were signing because we all thought you were going to Toronto. But anyway, hope we earned a thumbs up doing this. Hope we earned a subscribe here on the channel. It really helps me out. It makes me feel all warm and tingly. Remember, subscribing is completely free. And it's a write-off. You can write it off on your taxes, so it goes a long way. Anyway, thank you for the comments. Thank you for the questions. Thank you so damn much for the super chats, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.